Welcome to Aurelius Whitlock's Murder Museum.
This is Agent Jordan Key. I haven't been stuffed in the back of a car for years, and it is just as unpleasant as I remember. I am also confident that this car is on fire, which is just honestly the worst of both worlds. I guess there isn't much to say. If you find this tape, Bev, it was probably the DOR. They're my best guess. Love you, bye.
Beautiful last words.
I do want my last words to be "love you, bye." But narrator willing, this is not the day that I die. Okay, I am in the back of a car. I am a trained professional. I should be able to find a way out of this. Can you describe to me again? You said it was both dark and light in here. What does that mean?
There's no natural light, but there is heat, and you can see a glow from flames that are licking up the back of the trunk where the seats would be.
Oh, okay, where the seats would be. So, like, am I in a trunk or am I in the back of a...
You're in a trunk.
Okay.
You look around, you are shoved unceremoniously in this trunk. You're bruised and battered.
Hey, let's be clear. We don't know how ceremonious it was. I wasn't awake for that part.
Fair.
They could have very ritualistically and slowly placed me gently into this car.
Chanted as they open the trunk. That's fair. We'll leave that to the audience's imagination. But you can see, or you can feel, you're pretty cramped in here. There's a car jack, a spare tire, jumper cables, tire pump. You can see the outlines of brake lights, and there's light, again, glowing from the flames at your back.
Something about brake lights and jack makes me recall something I just heard from Melanoy. I would like to flash back and hear those words once more in my mind because it has either been 2 weeks since I've heard that or mere moments.
What? Wibbly wobbly, time dilation.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I would like to hear those words again.
Okay. First find a light, a signal for slowing. Kick out a brake till the outside is showing. With Jill's companion, get up the top. Then 13 more seconds before the big pop.
Big pop is concerning. I hope I'm not the one popping. Remind me also, is this a parked car or is this a on the road?
You cannot, it doesn't seem to be moving.
Okay. I was imagining that it might have been driving, which is like wild that it's also on fire.
That'd be insane. Some Ghost Rider
This is
stuff.
good. It means that there probably isn't someone in the driver's seat, so maybe no guns will be actively fired at me. All right, the first step I just heard was to look for a brake light. So it sounds like I was able to spot it. Can I punch it out?
You are able to kick out the brake light if you try.
I do try.
Okay. You kick out the brake light. You can see patches of dirt, ground. It's still day or evening or early evening outside. It's not big enough for you to crawl out, though.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's early morning, right?
It's early morning. Yes, it's early morning outside.
Okay. All right. Jill's companion is my friend Jack. Can I wriggle my way around and grab the jack?
Okay, you wriggle around and you grab the jack. It appears in your inventory.
And what did it say to do with it?
Get up the top.
Get up the top. Oh, of course. Okay. I'm going to put the jack in a place where I can crank it and see if I can make it pop out the top of the trunk.
The place where you can get it set up best is the spot where you've kicked out the brake light. So you put the jack under there. You crank it. It starts getting harder as you meet resistance from the trunk, but you give it a final crank, and the trunk opens up.
Wow. And once more the words.
Then 13 more seconds before the big pop.
did I experience those 13 seconds, or is there going to be a big pop?
How long are you sitting in this burning trunk
I get
for?
out of that car.
Okay.
Do you even have to ask? Once I open it up, I roll on out of there, and Big Pop
13
is
more
big trouble.
Yes. As you land on the ground, you roll away. 13 seconds pass much quicker than you assume, and the car is engulfed in a huge fireball as the engine explodes.
My gosh. Okay, did me doing that tape recorder, if we were counting seconds, I would have died leaving that little message to Bev.
But it's a cute little message. It probably would have been destroyed in the fire, but, you know.
And I'm safe in cutscenes. As long as it's clearly a cutscene, I'm safe.
Exactly. The QuickTime event doesn't start until the cutscene ends, so.
Oh my gosh. I put my hands on my knees and just heave a couple of deep breaths. I assume that, I'm okay. Like, do I have all my stuff on me? I assume I don't have my gun.
You are unarmed. You pat yourself down. You still have the moratoria, but you are singed up pretty badly. You're coughing quite a bit because you were just trapped in a smoking trunk for quite some time. So your muscles are very sore. As you're assessing yourself, you actually hear a voice from above you. Now there's something you don't see every day.
Is that Mr. Swan?
You look over. It's not Mr. Swan. You see a man in a Crocodile Dundee style hat sitting on top of a tarp-covered car eating chili out of a can.
What is he, like, just gulping the chili, or does he have a spoon?
He's got a spoon.
Okay. So he's not a barbarian.
No, he's dignified.
Do you usually eat chili for breakfast? Do you usually watch cars explode without helping a person inside?
Well, I didn't know that there's... Okay. To answer your first question, yes, I find that it really stimulates the old starter.
What does this person look like besides the Crocodile Dundee hat?
He's got a gruff beard, a honestly 1920s style canvas explorer kind of shirt, a little leather jerkin. He's got cowboy boots. He's about 30s, mid to late 30s, I'd say.
As I'm dusting myself off in coffee, and I asked, "And your name?"
He sets the can of chili down and hops off the car, offers you a hand. My name is Ducky. Well, my friends call me Ducky. So yeah, I guess you can call me Ducky too. Nice to meet you. You're, let's see, got a government-issue suit, now ruined by the smoke. Nice shoes. You must be government boy, otherwise known as Agent Jared Key. Oh, nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you as well. You called me Jared Key. It's Jordan Key.
Jordan Key, that is what I meant.
I give him a firm handshake and say, "Ducky, are you from around here?"
No, I'm just passing through, much like yourself.
When you say much like myself, when I say the word exhibit, does that mean anything to you?
Exhibit? Well, I do love myself a good museum.
And if I hum the tune, da 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 da, do you know what comes next?
Ooh, name that tune. Unfortunately, I am tone deaf, so I'm terrible at this game.
Okay, no worries. I know what I need to know here. Are you here with anyone? Did someone send you?
Oh, I have my own reasons for being in town, but no one sent me. But I've made this little clock tower my base. I just look around. You are at the abandoned clock tower.
Ah, are there a lot of cars around here, or is it just car in a sheet, car that almost killed me?
There's a car that almost killed you, car in a sheet. There's also just other junk around here. It seems that after the clock tower was abandoned, people kind of used it as a de facto junkyard.
So, have you been exploring Moonshine for a while?
Ooh, I've been here, let's see, about a week or so now. Got my own purposes, but that's a lovely old town. Pretty friendly.
It's a long time to be somewhere just passing through, so it does sound like you have some business. some reason to be here.
I mean, have you seen this incredible clock tower? I am personally a consumer or a connoisseur of clock faces.
Mhm.
He says unconvincingly. This clock tower was actually abandoned after the Great Steam Age came to an end about 60 years ago. Would have loved to see it up and running.
Well, I think you could if you found the right exhibit for it.
Really? Well, there's an idea. He opens a little notebook and jots that down.
All right, quick word association. I just need to... It's really not often. I don't often meet people who seem to have a clue about exhibits. The only other person I've met is quite interesting. So I would just love to get on the same page. If I say Ghost in the Machine.
Ah. I should have known you were one of Genevieve's. Right, well, this was a pleasure talking
I resent that comment. I don't belong to her. I don't know who she is. Who is that person? I don't know. I say unconvincingly.
Right, well, considering, I'm afraid I don't believe you.
That I don't
Don't worry.
belong to her.
We all get mixed up in it at one point or another. Can't be helped.
So you were a former member of the Ghost in the Machine?
That is a story for another time. Right now, it seems like you have your own mystery to solve. I'm just passing through.
No. I walk up to him and grab his wrist and say,
Buy me dinner first.
this museum has enough enigmatic characters just passing through. I need something concrete from you. Who are you? Why are you here?
Something concrete.
What are your loyalties? How do you feel about Aurelius Whitlock?
Aurelius Whitlock. I haven't run into him in quite some time. Is he still running the old place?
Are you here through the museum or are you here?
Do you mean was I born and raised in Moonshine, Oregon, or the surrounding country, I suppose?
I guess it would be helpful if I had some frame of reference for what I was actually asking or any terminology to explain if there's a difference between being not natural born, but like what level of reality are you on?
I am not native to this exhibit, if that's what you're wondering.
That is what I'm wondering. But you got here not through the museum?
I occasionally stop by the museum, but if I do, I try to avoid Aurelius, if I'm completely honest.
I see.
He doesn't like freelancers.
So, do you have a client?
Oh, myself. Listen, I've been through the exhibits, if I had to judge, quite a bit longer than you have. And I've learned that it is best to keep cards close to my chest. I don't know who is who and what their motives are.
Well, I know how that feels.
Haha. Well, then you know that it is wisest to stick to your own team, essentially. Well, that's what I'm doing.
And is your team a team of one, or do you have a jersey?
Team of one, just Ducky.
Just a...
He puts his hands on his hips.
Well, I will approach Ducky and offer my hand again for a handshake and say, well, if we cross paths again, I hope you consider me friend, not foe. I would say I'm generally harmless besides the occasional light car arsonery, which I did not perpetuate, mind you. And as I'm reaching for his hand, I'm going to flip open the moratoria.
Ooh, you flip open the moratoria, and he is as unfrozen as you are. Ah, so Genevieve, you must be very close to Genevieve if she gave you one of those. Can I see it?
I would say well used. I'm not sure if I would say close to.
Well, not the same thing if you get to know Genevieve well enough. Looks like one of the old models. Right, should serve you well, though. It's ticking down pretty quickly here. There starts to be red shade filtering in at the corner of your eyes.
I click it closed. I say, honestly, just trying to gain a little bit more information. It's interesting to know that there's more models than just one.
He digs through his vest. Listen, real talk. 2 things. First of all, the person who left that car here, they headed northeast. Figure if you're going to go after them, you should be prepared. And second of all, he pulls out a little bottle of clear liquid and tosses it to you. That's for Jen. She didn't listen to me, and I figure she's going to need it.
Do you mind telling me what it is? What it's for?
Don't sniff it.
Huh. Is it for me to use on Jen or for me to give to Jen?
Just give it to her. She'll know what to do.
All right, Ducky. Sounds good.
He salutes and goes back to his can of chili.
Well, while he's sitting there with his chili, I think I'm gonna look at this car. Is it an unmarked vehicle? Is there anything I can learn from this car?
That you were burning in, or the car under the tarp?
The car I was burning in.
The car that you were burning in was your car. That's going to be a lot of paperwork.
Someone took my own car, shoved me in the trunk, drove me out here, and lit me on fire.
Yep.
Hey, Ducky, does the thing you're sitting on have a key?
He lifts up the tarp to expose a decently new car. It looks completely fine, actually. You can see the tire treads are full of small white pebbles.
Is this Marnie's car?
Let's see, this car showed up about 4-5 days ago, thereabouts. Someone left it in the middle of the night. It's very comfy. I believe the keys are still inside.
Well then, off please.
See yourself.
I shuffle Ducky off and I see if I can get this thing started.
Okay. It starts remarkably well. It's about a quarter tank of gas, but should be enough.
Okay, and I do want to look around. Do I see any personal belongings within this car?
Not any personal belongings, but on the passenger seat and on the driver's seat, there are small crystal shards, similar to the studs found embedded in Marnie's neck.
That's around the passenger seat or around the... Yeah?
Scattered on the seat, yeah.
Nothing else of note?
There is a bloody footprint on the gas and brake pedal.
Whoa. Is there blood anywhere else?
Nope. You can't find a source of the blood, but you do see some bloody footprints down there.
Did this person step on Marnie? I'm trying to remember. She had a wound in her head, but I didn't think it was bleeding. Was it?
No, it had also been pulled from the lake, so it would not be actively bleeding.
Dang, I was going to drive this car over to the sheriff, but if the sheriff found this car, why didn't she... I guess she just covered it with a tarp and figured it would stay there until she came back here. I think I'll still do that. I think I'm going to... it feels weird putting my foot on a bloody footprint.
Contaminate the crime scene!
I don't know. Maybe I should just wait here for the but the sheriff was probably going to go get me. Okay, I'm just going to drive this to the mayor's place. I'm going to...
The mayor's place?
Oh, sorry. To the mayor's place. You know, the mayor we haven't met yet. Sounds fun.
Yeah. New character number 2. Let's go.
Yay. I'm going to take off my shoe and delicately with my toe press on the brake as to not... to not affect the footprint as much as possible. Just on the off chance we can do a little bit of like boot size forensics.
Cool. You feel a little squeamish about the 1 inch of cloth, or the one layer of cloth that is separating you from the bloody footprint, but you do manage. It still works, so you can still drive the car.
Yeah, I don't know how well I thought through that decision, but that feels accurate to real life as well. So I think I'll just... In real life, I also make decisions that it don't quite make sense when you really think about it. But I would like to drive to the sheriff's.
Okay. You drive to the sheriff's office. Uneventfully, nothing crazy happens.
And when I arrive, is Harmony Stone there?
You walk in, and Harmony Stone is sitting at the front desk. She stands up as you walk in. Agent Key. Oh no. What happened, sir?
Someone tried to kill me this morning.
Here. She offers you her coffee and a half-eaten donut. Do you mind telling me what happened?
Sure. I mean, obviously they didn't succeed because I'm here. And I explained to her what happened. Or where I woke up at the very least.
Okay. As you tell her that, she scribbles it down and rubs her eyes, but you notice she has bags and bloodshot eyes. All this in one night.
Yeah. What else? What else happened? The last time I saw you was Kylie Quinn.
Yes. We took Kylie to the... Sorry, turning Irish. We took Kylie... Dang it. We took Kylie to the hospital, and about 20 minutes later or so, we got a call that Caroline Lynch was also found in a similar condition. So I've been observing them all night. The DOR tried to shoulder me out of the investigation, but I stood firm, so I was at their bed all night. Didn't learn a thing, but I came here to meet you, to take you to the car, which was at the clock tower, so you found it, I suppose.
Yes. I also needed a new method of transportation because my car has been thoroughly exploded.
Yes, well, I hope the government has a better insurance policy than we do, so...
Yes, me too. Did you touch the dead body? Any of the dead bodies? Did you... I guess there's only been one. Did you touch the body of Marnie Keeler?
Oh, no, I left that to the coroner.
And he uses gloves?
I assume so, as standard medical practice.
Well, let's hope he kept things to code, because the curse is spreading from touching a body that has the curse, or the illness.
Oh dear.
I don't know if it takes hold. I don't know if it spreads from live bodies. I have reason to believe that it does not, so maybe you'll be okay while still having touched Kylie or Caroline. But I would still be cautious.
She checks her hands and her arms, and you can see they are free of gray and black.
Okay, you seem good for now. Well, Sheriff, I don't know what to do next. I have a good idea of a group of people that are up to shenanigans, but I don't even know if I have the power to face them myself. They seem to do a pretty thorough job of trying to kill me, so...
Well, sir, you always have my support. And she holds out her hand. Not much but a small-town sheriff, but I'll do what I can.
Thank you. Is there anything that you saw or learned from this car?
I pretty much left it alone. I didn't want to tamper with anything until you got your eyes on it.
Well, I got my toe on it, and I do think I've tampered a little bit with it. I'll go back outside and look more thoroughly at these prints. Like, do I get a feeling of, are these larger shoe prints than my own?
They are a shoe print. They're thinner than yours, but they are long, so they do... I mean, footprint analysis, you best guess, person's pretty tall.
Miss Josephson's pretty tall. Pretty sure.
Yes.
Mayor Stone, would you go with me to...
I'm not mayor, I'm just sheriff. But I appreciate the confidence.
I don't know where that keeps coming. I don't know. I just see you and I think mayor, you know?
Oh, gee, really? She straightens her sheriff badge. That means a lot.
I just feel like, like occasionally you see someone who just, is like built for public office, and you got that it factor, that small town mayor wow factor.
Oh, stop it. She blushes.
Now tell me, why did you murder Marnie? I'm just joking. Just joking, but that'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? That's what Poirot would do.
Trilla's little mustache.
I'm gonna ask the sheriff if she would accompany me to the SS Diner.
She gladly accepts your invitation.
Before I go real quick, the coroner, I assume, is not in this early in the morning.
No. You asking her or just me?
I guess her.
Oh no. We don't typically call the coroner in unless there's a situation. So,
I'm just wondering if maybe I should look at the body one more time, but I think maybe I know everything I need to know.
I could let you in if you want.
Yeah, let's give it one more look.
Okay. You go down into the cold coroner's office, and on the cold metal slab lies a sheet-covered body.
I put on gloves.
Aha. Are you taking off the sheet, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. You whip off the sheet to see a horrifying sight. The body of Marnie Keeler is completely gray, mottled with darker spots, the fingernails completely black, and there is black ichor seemingly coming out of her eyes. It's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it.
But she's dead, so she doesn't feel any of it, so it's fine.
Yeah, that makes body horror totally okay. Ooh. So Marnie tries to find some sort of solution to her husband's ailment and ends up succumbing to something just as bad, if not worse. We found her with a strand of tape that had some instructions of where to go within the mines. So I'm inclined to believe that she made it all the way. The question is, does that mean the person who killed her discovered it? We have a torn piece of tape, so do they have the other part of the tape? Do they have the full picture? Or is that only me who has that? I don't know. And just as her body seems quite a bit different now, but remind me, now that I've seen the shattered glass, do I have a better understanding of what it was exactly around her neck?
Looks like it was a necklace.
It was a necklace, and it was
torn off.
Torn off.
Yes. That didn't cause her death, but it did leave a mark.
Okay. And she has a wound in the back of her head.
Yes. Again, it looks like her head was smashed in somehow. Blunt force trauma, there we go. Blunt force trauma to the head. That is the cause of death.
So maybe a boot?
This is something, you look at this, that it could not have been caused by just pure human hands. Or limbs, I suppose.
Okay, so there's some object involved.
Yes.
A tool. Okay. Sheriff, is the car outside Marnie's car?
Yeah, that would be it.
And the shattered glass makes it look like she was in the passenger seat?
I would say that's not something you could conclude from the shards.
So, but why are the shards within her own car? Oh, I don't know what the last moments of her life were. But that's okay. I think I still would like to go to the SS Diner with the sheriff.
All right. You go to the SS Diner. There's a few patrons. The only person behind the counter is Brandon. Oh, hello there.
Hello.
He wipes his nose on his greasy arm.
Good.
Gives you a thumbs up.
Better on his arm than in the eggs, is what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, are you still big man on campus? Are you in charge of the restaurant today?
Oh yes. He eyes the sheriff nervously, but he does answer. Miss Josephson came in a rush early morning, and must have been right from a smoke break because she smelled pretty gnarly. But she said I was gonna be in charge today. She had some errands to run.
Well, Sheriff, I have a suspicion that we're gonna find Miss Josephson at the mine.
I'm right behind you.
Hey, Sheriff, what are the laws in your town regarding stalking?
As you say that, Brandon sprints into the kitchen. He's making a run for it. The sheriff, a little distracted. It's illegal, as it is everywhere.
Good to know. I might have a a crime to address if we weren't in such a hurry. I think we should head to the mine.
Right. Okay. You drive up to the mines, through the forest, and to the entrance. You are not the only car there.
Is there only one other?
There is one other car, which the sheriff points out is Holly Josephson's.
Wow. I'm a clairvoyant.
Psychic detective.
All right. Sheriff, if you're willing to head with me in the mine, that might be the thing that solidifies your name in town and wins you that mayoral election that you've clearly been pining after.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I still have my tape recorder?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I listen back to it. Do I still have left, then right, etc.?
You do.
Okay. I see if I can get a gun from the sheriff.
Oh, well, I just have mine, but you're welcome to it if you'd like.
Too nice. I'll take it. I'll take the sheriff's gun.
She hands you her gun.
And I start playing the tape.
Okay.
And I follow the directions through the labyrinth.
You enter the mines. The mines are a mix of steampunk retro future with your classic dirt and wood shaft.
I don't know what I'm visualizing in my mind, but I know it's cool.
Oh, yes. Imagine, again, wooden beams, dirt and rock walls, but copper and brass pipes spindling everywhere. It seems that the lights still work after all this time, so you're able to see fairly well. After about 15 minutes, you start to hear running water. The sheriff nods to you. Oh, that'll be the underground rivers that feed the lake.
Ooh.
They run all over this mountain.
Interesting. As in, a body could be thrown in there and be taken all the way to be found in the lake.
Indeed, it could. From one of the branching tunnels appears Miss Josephson. Before you do anything stupid, she gestures behind her, and you see two DOR agents dressed in black suits and ties holding Genevieve and Leland Swan at gunpoint.
Well, Miss Josephson, this is usually the part of the show where I tell you why you did it, why you're the murderer. You're making my job extremely easy for me. And for that, I thank you. I mean, you smell like smoke, and I was just lit on fire. So, at the very least...
Where there's smoke, there's fire?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
As you take a good look at her, you notice that her arms are graying.
Ooh.
Her hands, fingernails blackened, and you can just see black at the edges of her eyes.
It looks like you didn't do a good job taking care of yourself. Looks like you got a little bit involved with this curse.
Just another unfortunate accident, she says, dropping the Southern Belle accent. Now I'm going to need you to keep moving. Lead us to wherever that recording takes us.
But surely, Holly, you would like to elucidate us on what exactly happened here. More than happy to guide you through the mines, but don't you just want a monologue? Just a little?
Well, let's walk and talk. You're on front, government boy. She pulls out her own gun and gestures forward.
Talk first, and then I'll lead the way. You need me, so I would love to hear your story first.
I don't need you alive. I just need the recorder in your hand.
I take the gun, and I take the recorder, and I point the gun at the recorder.
Have it your way. Well, what do you want to know?
Why did you kill Marnie Keeler? Did you have any other reason besides being one of the DOR's lackeys?
That is a bold accusation. I suppose I should start at the beginning. I was stationed here in Moonshine by the DOR. I was to run the SS Diner as a way to keep tabs on the townsfolk, to pick up any gossip that I could. It's hard to infiltrate a small town like this and not to get noticed, as I'm sure you know. So the diner was the perfect cover. DOR is in talks to buy the mines. I'm sure you knew that. They had agreed to let Martin Keeler survey the mine and land around it in preparation for the purchase. But what we didn't realize was that he would find what we were looking for, Marikari's sarcophagus. Whatever nightmares he released chased him, catching him as he finally collapsed at the mouth of the mine, comatose and cursed. We did our best to keep everything hushed up at the hospital, restricting visits and keeping an especially close eye on Marnie, his wife. Of course, it was easy to trample the local buffoon. She gestures to the sheriff. But Marnie was different. She was a wild card. So I kept my eye on her. A few days ago, she came into the diner blabbing about finally figuring out what her husband was mumbling about in his sleep. I tried to dig more out of her, but she clammed up right away and left the diner. So, I put Brandon in charge, the incompetent fool. If that was a real diner, that'd be closed down months ago just due to his own health violations. But I followed her first to the library and then to the hospital, and finally to the mines. And to my surprise, she marched right in, completely confident. We've been in here ourselves, but it's a labyrinth. Unless you know the right way, it's impossible. I thought about calling for backup, but there wasn't time, so I followed her in. These tunnels stretched forever. I was following her about half an hour or so until we finally reached a cavern. Cavern, I figure, is about 5 minutes out. And there in that cavern I saw the sarcophagus, black tendrils oozing out from beneath as Marnie herself was prying the lid open, the tentacles grabbing at her hands. I stepped out of the shadows to confront her, but as soon as she saw me, she ran into an offshoot. I sprinted after her, eventually getting close enough to grab at her studded necklace. It ripped and she stumbled, falling hard onto the rocky ground. I knew she was dead before I even looked at the wound. Now, I've been a part of the DOR, but I haven't killed someone, so I was in a bit of a panic, so I dragged her body towards the sound of running water and pushed it into the underground river, but not before taking her car keys. At this point I was thoroughly turned around, but I managed to stumble my way back to the entrance where I took Marnie's car to the clock tower to stash it. I was grounded by Rivera, but after I couldn't remember my way back to the cavern, and so I was stuck at the diner until you showed up, telling me that Marnie had been found in the lake of all places. Of course, now it looks like I'll have to throw a couple more bodies in the river.
I couldn't agree more. I look over at Genevieve and I say, when you got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And I'm going to flip open the moratoria.
You flip open the moratoria, and to your surprise, Holly collapses on the ground, covering her ears.
That's weird, but Genevieve is frozen still.
Genevieve is frozen.
Wild. Well, I know that I'm on a ticking clock. I'm going to run over to these two agents and snag their guns, keeping an eye on Holly.
Okay. She is writhing on the ground. It's pretty horrifying. So I'll suffice it with that description.
Okay. Can I grab the agents away from their captors and throw them into the river?
You're not close enough to the river. You could hear the running water. At this point, all you can hear is an increasingly loud static. You don't have time to push them.
Okay, I'm going to take their guns then. I'm going to put the gun in the hand of Leland Swan and Genevieve. And I'm going to unclick the locket immediately behind Holly Josephson.
Okay. Time restarts, and Genevieve, seemingly predicting what you're doing, swings the butt of the gun around and knocks out her agent. Leland Swan sees that and is like, oh, does the same with his. All right. That was far out.
I'm going to put my boot on the back of Holly's neck and say, looks like you have some pre-existing relationship with some godlike entity.
Only in my dreams. My nightmares. She's still on the ground.
I'm going to gesture for Genevieve to hand me that gun and knock her on the back of the head.
All right. You do your best. You know what? It works. It works. Your secret agent training kicks in, muscle memory, and she passes out. The sheriff is fanning herself in the tunnel. Whew. I've been here a long time. I've never seen any sort of excitement like that. Oh, we're in real trouble now, aren't we?
Yep, but we've got 3 guns, 4 people, but they don't know how to follow us. I pull back out the tape recorder, and I say, if we make it quick, we can still go all the way.
All right. The other 2 nod. I've been eager to find out what they've been keeping in these mines. Lead the way.
During one of the stretches in between the need for directions, I'm going to mutter into my tape recorder, ideally in a way that the other 3 can't hear me as we walk down.
This is Agent Jordan Key, headed to the center of it all. In these mines, we're going to find the source of the curse and what my old friend Genevieve is looking for. I'll be honest, I don't even know why we're headed this direction. I'm not sure I want her or anyone else to have access to this power. I'm not sure why Leland Swan is here. Maybe I should have told him to turn around, but you live and you learn. Bev, I bet this is probably my last message to you. I don't know who you are. You don't really know who I am. But I hope that you get the tape and you can piece the rest of the story together yourself. I don't know what's about to happen in here. It's probably not going to be good. This is Agent Jordan Key signing off.
I love it. I love it. After about 15, 20 more minutes, the sound of rushing water gets louder, and you see an offshoot where there is a small trail of blood.
We're getting close.
Yep. You keep turning, and eventually you step into a large cavern with dripping stalactites. Anchored up against the wall with steel iron beams is the sarcophagus of Marikari. It's a little worse for wear, a little more banged up than last you saw it in the airship, but it is definitely the same sarcophagus. It is slightly cracked open with black tendrils creeping out the bottom.
I glance over at Genevieve, who, by the way, I take her gun and I give it to the sheriff.
Oh, yes. Her hand's shaking pretty bad.
I would expect nothing
Not
less.
Genevieve's, the sheriff's.
Yeah, I figured.
Genevieve, for her part, marches right up to the sarcophagus, not even missing a beat.
I watch her. I watch her to see what she's gonna do.
She pulls on gloves. Leland shouts to her, "Oh, I reckon that's not the smartest thing to do." But she ignores him, and she opens the sarcophagus. As she opens it, a wave of rippling black ichor pours out, draining from the still dry corpse. You don't even have a moment to speak before Genevieve yanks at the mummy, which collapses to the ground with a moan. Behind it, hanging from the back of its neck, is an amulet, half of a scarab with a large black orb in the center. She picks it up. She looks at you. This is what I came for. And you solve the mystery. I'm sure if you stick around here, the curator will come looking for you eventually. Leland and Harmony are looking wildly around like they have no idea what's going on anymore. I reckon we should put that feller skeleton back in the sarcophagus. He don't look right to me. Dang right, that's messed up. Playing like 3 characters at the same time.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Is a little messy.
Genevieve, please pick up your toys.
Right. She unceremoniously shoves the mummy back in the sarcophagus and shuts it. I reckon that should be burned, she says to the sheriff and Leland. Anyone else touches it without gloves, and, well, they'll end up like Marnie. Or worse.
What are the odds we burn it and then it releases a foul gas that infects the entire town?
Fairly high. Right. Well, I really should be going.
How do you plan to leave?
Like this. She sits down on the ground, amulet across her chest, and closes her eyes.
Does it look like she's trying to fall asleep?
Yes.
Man. Oh, man, but I know that it takes me a while, so I don't have a shot. I am going to... I'm going to say, Leland, I don't know you very well, but I think you will be well equipped for this request. I need you to be loud and obnoxious and keep her from falling asleep until I fall asleep first.
Right. Why?
I don't think I can explain this to you easily, but I need a head start. She's established to me she can fall asleep way quicker.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. This is much stranger than even I could have guessed.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll make a great story, though.
Right.
I look at Jen and I say, I'm going with you. I need to see what exactly deal you're making with Melanoy, and I want to make sure I am there for the moment it happens.
Suit yourself. All right. It takes a while to fall asleep on the hard ground, but you do manage it, listening to the dulcet tones of Leland's conspiracy theories, which he whispers in your ears as you drift off into dreamland. You appear in the red room. The velvet curtains writhing as if in an invisible breeze. You're a little disoriented, but you pick yourself off the floor to see Melanoy floating above your head on her throne of black tentacles. Genevieve stands right below her. The amulet is already in Melanoy's hand and pouring out smoke.
I was not quick enough to stand between them in the moment.
Well done, well done. I'm quite impressed, Genevieve. And Marcus. I knew you had it in you.
This is it, the final piece. Now give me my sister.
Oh, my dear, dear, sweet Genevieve. You know that was never the bargain. No, you'll have to get her yourself.
The red curtains writhe as a tear rips through the room, a flickering, steaming image shredding the space in front of you. You see an image of a murky beach swirling in the center.
That's it then?
Oh, yes, and I would hurry. I can feel him trying to wiggle his way in here.
Genevieve turns to you.
Marcus, would you come with me?
Excuse the melodramatic music, I just thought it was funny.
You thought it was funny? You have a twisted sense of humor.
But you have a choice to make.
You know, things didn't work out exactly how I wanted. I wanted to see if I could maybe prevent the handoff, but with Melanoy already having what she apparently already needs, if Genevieve is asking me if I will go with her, I think I would say I will.
You see the wave of relief wash over Genevieve's face.
Thank you.
Neither of you will be going anywhere if you sit around here any longer. Now go! Go!
Genevieve grabs your hand and pulls you towards the portal.
Oh, and Genevieve, one word of advice. The sanguine serpent is wily, even when dormant. You'll have one chance to use it before it slithers away.
You reach the edge of the portal and on instinct, you jump. The last fading cackle of Melanoy resonating in your ears as everything fades to an inky black.
I'm so sorry, Curator. It's already too late.
No, where's Oaks? Egg, Lavana, or Ewana, He never knows it, he's not, sell of the vent.